I should mention roaming and ganking, even though I really don't want to. So generally speaking, the side lanes are dual lanes. You can theoretically have a tri-lane where the pause 4 plays with the pause 5 and the pause 1, but you can also have a pause 4 that is a roamer. Jakiro's not a very good roamer because he's slow. But if you have someone who is slower or has more kill potential, Tiny is a really good roamer, so we'll look at him real quick. Tiny isn't especially fast actually. How fast is Tiny? 290 probably? I feel like he's 290 move speed. Oh, he buys boots though, because he needs move speed. So Tiny is a roamer of sorts. What he wants to do is play in the off lane. Well, I mean, theoretically, you would play in the off lane for a little bit, make it so that your off laner, the pause 3, is self-sufficient, get him his first few levels, staying out of XP range as much as you can, and then you would just go look for ganks. So go somewhere that you think you can kill someone and try to kill them, which is a lot more complex when you actually figure out the how, but Tiny basically stuns people, throws them out of position, and does a bunch of damage to them. So that's how he does it. Yeah, he has 305 base. That ain't bad. With boots, you're really fast. So Tiny is a decent roamer, a decent ganker. You can gank without being a dedicated roamer. Roamer basically means you're not staying in a lane traditionally. You roam about. You can stay in a lane and just like stay outside XP range and just go in if you think that's a lane you can repeatedly kill. Especially if, you know, your team helps put those circumstances where you can kill them together. You can just chill near that lane, out of vision, and then show up like, yo, I'm Tiny, and kill them repeatedly, which is going to give that lane a really good time at the cost of your own farm, because you're not getting XP besides the kills if you're playing like that. So you could either be a full-on roamer where you just go back and forth, or you can say you are the pause 4, because traditionally the pause 4 is the roaming support. You play with your offlaner, help get him his levels, and if he's at a point where he's okay to be by himself for a minute, you could roam mid, try to go for a kill, and then come back and go back to helping your offlaner, and you can kind of bounce back and forth. That's entirely valid. The mid can also gank very well, because mid is in the middle, so they have the most convenient access to either side lane. So mid, and Tiny is a perfectly valid mid as well. If you are a mid and you're looking to gank, what you want to do is have your lane pushed in. Tiny has no attack speed. God, it's so low. You want to push your lane in so that you're not missing creeps, because your farm is very important. Your pause 2, your second most important to be farming. You want to push in your lane and then rotate somewhere. So I have Avalanche. I am going to use Avalanche to push the lane, ideally getting the opponent in that. Kill some creeps. Can we get this range creep as well? And then we're going to go, because this is the least farm we could be missing. So we're going to run down to our safe lane, say, and gank the offlaner so our carry has a much better time, because maybe our carry's not doing well. You don't want to do this early, because the earlier it is, the more a creep wave is going to cost you. So we're missing this creep wave right now. Our opponent mid has free farm, but we came anyways to gank, so we are going to gank. And what we're going to do is Avalanche and toss somebody. There's no... Oh, you have to toss at a target. I forgot about that, because I don't have the talent yet. Avalanche, or toss, causes Avalanche to do more damage to the tossed person. And after you gank, you run back. You get your ass back. You don't stay in this lane. You don't soak their XP. You don't try to take their CS and get their gold. You run your ass back to your lane, and you go back to farming. That's how you gank as a mid or a support. Especially as a support, you don't want to be mooching other people's farm if they're in the area. If they're not in the area, take their farm. For example, if your mid ganks, if you're pos 4 say, and your mid ganks your safe lane, and they're gonna miss a wave, and you can get there in time to take it, go take it. Go rotate from top. If your pos 3 is fine, rotate down here to mid. Push this wave back out. Instead of letting their mid farm for free and nobody gets this wave, you get it. And you want farm, everybody wants farm. So that's basically free farm for you, and then your mid comes back and you run back top. The pos 5 can theoretically do the same thing, especially once the carry is self-sufficient and maybe just pushing the wave and jungling. So if your carry hits their timing, like say on a Terrorblade at level 4 or 5, where they can just push the wave and jungle and they don't want to be in lane anymore, you either take the lane yourself and you have some sweet farm, if they're jungling full time that is, and that's how you get some farm, because these are ways you get some farm by taking someone else's lane. It's actually a very good idea if the lane is open. If your core leaves because they want to jungle or something, you are going to ideally just take their lane and get yourself a bunch of golden XP, and you're going to hit your timings a lot faster, because supports don't usually have a free lane to push, or it's not a free lane because you're assuming the enemy core and support are going to be chilling there. But we're out of mana. I wanted to avalanche toss just to show what it looks like, but without an actual hero it's not useful at all, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, taking someone else's farm, especially as the laning stage is ending, is actually amazing. If the mid goes to gank and you can take his lane until he comes back, do that. You'll get whatever item a lot faster, and you'll hit your ult a lot faster because you'll get levels as well. Only if your core doesn't need you though, because if your carry, say, needs you in lane and you leave to go take the mid farm, the pos 3 and the pos 4 on the enemy team are going to go kill your carry, and your carry's going to have a really bad game because they won't be able to lane anymore if they aren't at that point where they don't need you. So that's something you definitely need to think about when you're going to take somebody else's farm like that. And that leads us into your responsibilities in lane.